On American soil, a secret war was being waged, not with bullets or bombs, but with whispers, coded messages, and deeply embedded agents. For decades after the Cuban Revolution, Havana maintained a sophisticated intelligence network aimed squarely at its powerful neighbor to the north. But even after the Cold War's official end, the covert game continued. Deep within the United States, a group of Cuban agents, later known to history as the Cuban Five, operated in plain sight, their mission shrouded in layers of secrecy and deception. Their primary target wasn't military secrets in the traditional sense, but rather the very active anti-Castro exile communities thriving in Miami. From the early 1960s, these groups had launched aggressive raids, attempted sabotage of Cuban infrastructure, and even plotted assassinations. Havana viewed them as a direct, persistent, and existential threat to the revolution itself. To counter these perceived threats, Cuba dispatched what they called La Red Avispa, the WASP network. Its objective was clear: infiltrate the exile groups, gather actionable intelligence on their plans, and ultimately prevent violent actions against the island nation. This wasn't just about traditional espionage, it was, from Cuba's perspective, a critical matter of national security and survival. Among these operatives were 5 men who would become central figures in a diplomatic and legal saga spanning decades: Gerardo Hernandez, Ramon Labanino, Antonio Guerrero, Fernando Gonzalez, and René Gonzalez. Each had a specific, carefully planned role, operating under deep cover, sometimes for years, meticulously building seemingly normal American lives. Gerardo Hernandez, for instance, served as the network's alleged ringleader and its most crucial asset. His mission was arguably the most critical: to penetrate the exile group Brothers to the Rescue, a humanitarian organization that also flew small planes over the Florida Straits, sometimes deliberately venturing into Cuban airspace, purportedly searching for rafters. In a tragic escalation in February 1996, 2 of Brothers to the Rescue's planes were shot down by Cuban MiG fighters over international waters, killing 4 pilots. The U.S. government firmly believed Hernandez had provided crucial, real-time intelligence to Cuba regarding the plane's flight paths, making him instrumental in the devastating incident. The FBI had been keenly aware of Cuban intelligence operations in South Florida for years, but the shoot-down dramatically intensified their efforts. Code-named Operation Sandblast, the investigation meticulously pieced together the fragmented components of the WASP network. They monitored communications, followed suspects covertly, and painstakingly built an airtight case. In September 1998, the hammer finally fell. All 5 agents were arrested across South Florida in coordinated raids. Their subsequent trial in Miami in 2001 was a public spectacle, lasting an astonishing 7 months. Prosecutors presented extensive evidence of their clandestine activities, including encrypted messages, false identities, and detailed reports. The jury found them guilty on various serious charges, predominantly conspiracy to commit espionage. Hernandez received 2 life sentences, primarily for his alleged role in the Brothers to the Rescue shootout. The others received lengthy prison terms, ranging from 15 years to life, delivering a severe blow to Cuba's intelligence apparatus and its operations in the U.S. Cuba immediately condemned the convictions, vehemently declaring the 5 men national heroes who were merely defending their homeland from what they termed terrorist acts. International campaigns, particularly from Latin American and European solidarity groups, passionately called for their release, arguing they were unjustly held political prisoners. For over a decade, the Cuban 5 remained incarcerated in various U.S. federal prisons. The diplomatic impasse between Washington and Havana seemed insurmountable, a bitter relic of the Cold War frozen in time. Families on both sides suffered immeasurably, waiting for a resolution that seemed increasingly distant and unlikely. Then, in a stunning diplomatic breakthrough in December 2014, a complex prisoner exchange was announced. The remaining 3 Cuban 5 members, Gerardo Hernandez, Ramon Labanino, and Antonio Guerrero, were released. In return, the U.S. secured the freedom of American intelligence asset Rolando Saraf Trujillo and USAID contractor Alan Gross, who had been held in Cuba for 5 years on separate charges. The return of the Cuban 5 to Havana was met with jubilant, widespread celebrations, hailed as a profound victory for the revolution. This dramatic exchange marked a significant thaw in contentious U.S.-Cuba relations, paving the way for renewed diplomatic ties. Yet, the story remains a stark reminder of the clandestine battles that continue to shape geopolitical landscapes, even in an era of supposed peace and détente. For more stories of hidden agents and